Hello, this is Gabriel. I'm the developer of Worlds Within Worlds, and I've recorded a sum of personal best to showcase what the theoretical best time is, at least that I can achieve in my own game. Obviously, there are going to be people who can do better at individual levels and therefore get a better maximum time, but this video should serve as a rough guide for how to at least start practicing to get a better time in this game, if you're interested in speedrunning it. Obviously, the game is designed to be played completely casually, and you don't have to go for this super high score, but it is built to have these special speedrunning paths, and who knows, maybe people will even find faster paths in the game. All that said, the only thing you need to do to give yourself an edge in speedrunning for this game is to open up the pause menu, scroll over to Options, and then scroll down to Stick to Walls, and switch that from Stick to Slide. This will give you the fastest sliding down walls behavior, but of course that makes the game much harder to play. You can absolutely still speedrun the game with the behavior set to slow, and in fact if you hold down, you will slide down walls as quickly as if the option were set to slide. So really switch between either slow or slide, just probably not stick if you're intending to play this game at a competitive speedrunning level. With that out of the way, let's take a look at starting out the game. The only time you really have to use the butterfly in this run, which is this game's assist feature, is in the very first level. That is, an agreed upon concept is that the very first level here can be cleared using the butterfly. It is technically possible to beat it without, but it's much harder. Once you get into the second level here, this is where the slide behavior on the walls really makes a difference. In the third level, you should be able to bounce off every consecutive goblin, grab this leaf up here, and then drop down to get the fastest time. Once you get into the fourth level, it's just a matter of really timing the jumps with these skulls, doing a bunch of quick turnarounds. The position of these skulls, you'll notice, is spaced out exactly so that they won't be in your way if you move as quickly as possible. Coming up in level 5 here, you've got a really tough jump. Again, sliding down the wall there, and we can move right into World 2. First level, just go. Just hold to the right. You will bounce off of these guys, no problem. Same thing, just bounce off of this guy, turn around, and at least one of these two jellies should be in the position that you need. Getting into the second level, that small cutout in the ground there is where you should jump. And once we get into 2, 3, 3 quick wall hops should be necessary to get up to the second screen. And then you can basically stand still to get up that staircase of jellies. Once you spawn back into the overworld, you want to be holding left immediately to bounce off of the jelly. And then jumping off of this goblin here gives you a shortcut that lets you complete this level in an unexpected way. Once you get into this level, you're again just like holding to the right, bouncing off of both of these guys, and then jump as close to the edge as possible in order to make this jump on the second screen. Into World 3 now, using a not quite full height jump, you're trying to hit the ghost block while jumping just high enough to not get bounced down into the skull below you. Level 3-2, bouncing off the heads of curl-ups is very important here. The heads have a slightly higher collision volume, so you want to make sure that you're bouncing off of their heads, not their tails, in order to get the ideal bounce height. But again, it might depend on the situation. As we get into level 3 here, you can actually just use wall jumping to get past the goblin and not have to bounce off his head. It's just really tricky to get there before the goblin falls. Once we get into level 3-4, you want to restart at that mid-checkpoint, and then you basically get the second half of this level for free. So touch the checkpoint and immediately restart. As you get into level 3-5, make sure you bounce off the head of this curl up and then take a big jump as you transition screens. You'll get up here, allowing you to completely skip having to bounce off of that curl up in the middle screen. So we're getting into World 4 now. The toughest part of this first level is definitely the last screen. You might have to improvise as you make your jumps off of the 2 ghasts. You might even have to avoid bouncing on a ghast on your return and just make a jump off the second tombstone there. So here's a fun fact, this level that's designed to teach you about skulls, you never bounce off of their heads. You just ignore them, bounce past them, use wall jumps. Make sure you make this jump from your maximum jump height. In level 4-3, jump, bounce off the first ghost, wall jump, bounce off the second ghost, swing around, and drop down here. You don't have to jump. If you're moving fast enough, that jump is not necessary. Go into World 4-4, you are going underneath those first two skulls, and then same at the end here, you might need to hesitate for a moment just to make sure you don't slam into the side of that last cranium there. Getting into level 4-5, you're going to ignore that first leaf there, bounce off the two craniums, grab this leaf that's up high first, hesitate slightly in order to bounce off this ghast, then swing back around to grab that first leaf. Getting into World 5, this introduces the Healing Mosaic, and the best thing you can do is to get a good sense for how long the glass takes to regenerate, so you can predictably avoid breaking it, but also break it when you need to. Getting into 5-2 here, you just want to make sure that you keep moving non-stop, and you will find yourself in a good rhythm with the lasers. Their spin is calibrated to not hit you if you're moving at the optimal speed. Getting into 5-3, go to the left first. This is very important because it'll set you up for a good cycle between these two skulls. Break down through there, get into 5-4. Make sure that you do a quick turnaround. You can actually get past that laser before it completes a spin. And coming up on the last screen here, this is really tough. You want to grab that leaf and drop past the beam. 5-5, last level. I would actually say this is less stressful than 5-4. Do the top beam before you do the bottom beam on the first screen, and then hold to the right as you're doing the wall jumps there. And then there you go. That is how you beat Worlds Within Worlds as quickly as possible. Again, at least as quickly as I'm able to manage. I hope that gives you some insight and makes you excited to try speedrunning this game for yourself. The game is free to play on itch.io as well as Armor Games, and it's going to be coming to Cool Math Games as well. Playing in browser versus the desktop exe, you get a slight difference in the graphics quality as well as the ability to full screen the game. I would very much appreciate that if you enjoy the game and you want to support it, consider purchasing the exe version of the game so you can play it on desktop, and that will support the development of future worlds. That's right, this game is still going to be ongoing. There is additional development in mind, so if you like this game and want there to be more of it, then the best way you can show your support is by purchasing the exe. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and I look forward to seeing your best time.